I want to delve into our first discussion segment for today, talking about the defection of Enugu State Governor, yes, Mba, to the APC, the impact of political restructuring, so to speak, in Southeast politics. Remember, we have 4 states that make up the Southeast, right? We have Anambra, Enugu, Abia, and of course, Imo State. Now, these 4 states, they are key when you talk about the Eastern geopolitical zone. You're talking about the Eastern politics. I gave a brief of the parties that are linked to these states. For a very long time, it was ABGA. Yes, until today, it is the ABGA in Anambra State. All right, once upon a time in Imo State, it used to be the PDP, until we now have the APC. Yes. Now, we went to Enugu State, also a very strong PDP state. You heard about the Namani and the rest of that when PDP was very, very strong in Enugu State. All of a sudden, Mba left PDP to join the APC. And when you talk about Abia State, a key state that used to be for the PDP, yes, all of a sudden, it fell into the hands of Labour Party due to the tsunami of P2B syndrome. That was like, the last presidential election. But now things are beginning to take a turn. People have been talking about this, saying the Eastern Bloc right now is on a shaky ground when you talk about political affiliation. Because right now, as it stands, we have just 2 states that are not in the APC. One has already sworn allegiance to the APC, which is ABGA in Anambra State, led by Peter Soludo. As it stands right now, from the Eastern Bloc, there is nothing like PDP at the helms of affair when you talk about governance. And some Eastern politicians, they are worried about this. When P2B spoke his mind about this particular issue. How do you think this is going to affect the narrative when you talk about the Eastern Bloc in terms of political restructuring? With me here in the studio, I have a former chairman, local government of, Umude local government area. Join me to welcome Napoleon Agbama. Honorable Napoleon, it's a pleasure to have you here with me in the studio.
Happy Sunday, Winston.
All right.
Happy Sunday, viewers.
Okay. When you get to here, put food on the table, you will not see or hear any of these things happening. Join me to welcome Okoro Osaho Obaraye. Welcome.
Good morning, Winston.
All right.
Good morning, viewers at home.
And of course, joining us virtually is Collins Amadi. Collins, how are you doing this morning?
Winston, good morning. It's nice being with you. I also want to greet my Costa, Obaraye, and my other brother,
All right. And we are expecting Usman Kadri to join us all the way from Port Harcourt to really share his thought and his opinion in this particular discussion, because talking about politics, we may even not go into political affiliation. We want to take a look at what it means for the Eastern Bloc. Remember that the Eastern Bloc is known for one political party. Yes, ABGA. That is the birthplace of ABGA. They call it that is the cradle or the heart of Eastern politics. I'm not saying that might just be the reason why Soludo choose not to leave. He's an ABGA, but he's saying as an allegiance to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For the Eastern Bloc to lose when you talk about the political parties vis-a-vis the PDP. People have been talking so much about it. I know the South Governor Duroye, yes, left PDP also to the APC. Let me start off from Honorable Napoleon. Now, what do you feel about this trend and how is it going to affect the Eastern politics?
Thank you very much, Winston. If you listen to Mbadi, Enugu State Governor, when he was moving from PDP to APC, he said the reason is that they want to be connected with the central government. That it is only when they are connected with the central government, they believe that those good things can always come to them. Taking cue from what he have just said, I think, to me, I agree with him that he has no other reason rather than he want to belong to the center, which is the APC. If you look at it carefully, you are only narrowing down to the southeast. And even the south we are, southwest and north central, every other, and northeast, they are almost all as crumble into APC. I think the best reason, like all others were saying they are coming because of this or that, is what the Enugu State governor just said. Let us belong to the central so that things can be easy for us, so that we can move the same footing with the APC government at the center. I think to him and many other persons are looking at it that it is only when they act the way they have acted, they can be able to float well. But there are other people who say that coming into APC or moving from PDP to APC is for their personal gain, which to me you cannot rule that at all in politics of Africa, not only in Nigeria alone, just to belong and be safe.
Just to belong and be safe. I pick on that last comment of yours, belong and safe. But if you take a look at Soludo, he made it clear that he's not going to leave Abga. But as already sworn his allegiance to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why can't these guys do the same? Must you belong to the APC to operate? As it stands right now, Anambra also is getting a fair share from the center. So why would you say you have to be there to belong or to gain, if not for personal interests?
Yeah, thank you so much, Luis. I think some of us were really expecting anything less. You know, the crop of leadership we have now in Nigeria, we can say we are politically unlucky.
Politically unlucky?
Yeah, for the type of crop of leadership we have, leadership with no integrity. That's sufficient to say that during the days of Obasanjo, same tsunami also happened, where later we now had the PDP controlling 31 states, 31, balancing 5 for, and the 5 was just for the West. If people want to say, boast to say they want to connect to the top, they should also know that the person that is on the top now was once a governor. And in the days when he was a governor, politics was a do or die issue.
And he was in the opposition.
He stayed in the opposition. There was something like going on top. Even when his revenue was just changed, stopped, he made sure that where he was better off. And today, political historians cite that as a case study. So I don't foresee where you are not quarreling with the top, your money has not been stopped, your security vote is there, everything about you is going, you are quarreling about the top. It goes to show your failure as a governor. You must not be at the top for things to snowball down well. Though normally it's so, but you can as well say, in your own little sphere, this should be done rightly. As a politician, it's a plus. It's a political plus, it's a political calculation. This is the Nigeria type. We are not in a same society like the Americans or UK, where you have a family lineage of over 70 years belonging to one system, believing in one system. When that system is working, you get to get it right. But we are here in Nigeria where politicians will give the acronym anywhere belle-faced politician. Anywhere it is going, they go. So I think that is where they are getting it wrong. Now using all type of grammar to say this is why we are aligning. You must not say, some people are still aligning and their people are suffering. Your alignation to the top does not mean things will be better off downward. Even that of Soludo, to me, though he's trying to play political Obubuyeye where it's not coming, because you cannot be in John Holt working and expect money from UAC. You cannot say you are in APG, then you are aligning to the top. No, if you want to align to the top, align to the top.
But he has aligned already, and the president accepted his allegiance.
No, definitely. I'm not. I say I'm trying to touch those that are Are you getting it? I said,
Yes.
if you want to align, align. Don't pretend to say you want to be here wearing this red uniform in this one primary school, then you are going to a Muta primary school where they wear blue to do exam. It's a different ball game. Then let us also go to somewhere like Delta State. Delta State has been PDP stronghold since 1999. The governor wasn't having problem with PDP in the national. He wasn't having problem with the House of Assembly. He wasn't having a crack anywhere. Is he also aligning? And the oil revenue in Delta State, some countries don't have it. Countries like Niger State is richer than Niger combined as a country. So if you can also say, let's use these billions falling down to make sure things are good for our populace, it goes to show there's a failure somewhere where you believe that if up does not cry, your people will not cry downward.
All right.
I know that instead of you to cry, you will say, my money has not been paid. Is anybody complaining now that things are not going well? The president has made sure now that the governors enjoy it. He didn't say APC governor will enjoy more than the PDP governor. Governors will enjoy.
All right.
So I don't know why they are running when no one is pursuing.
All right, I'll come back to you, Obarai. Well, let's get to hear from Collins. You heard what both of them, their opinion, their opening remark. No one is chasing after anybody. Allocations are being given to every state. I belong to the APC or the PDP or the NNPP or ABGA, even LP. So why are these governors running if they don't have skeletons in their cupboard? Collins, before I go to Kadri. Collins, what do you have to say about this?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Collins.
Yes. It's fortunate. It's also unfortunate either way you see it. For the progressive mind and for those who believe democracy is about number, is a fortunate event. And for those who perpetually feel that there should be a stronger opposition, and for those who on one hand also fermented the crisis that bedeviled their party and unable to gain or prove leadership, it's also unfortunate. But however, this is the story of politics and democracy. Democracy is about number. Democracy is about how many people can you gain. And now, for those leaders in PDP, especially from the eastern part, the reason why many believe that PDP is completely out of the ball is because they distracted themselves by not aligning at the time they need to align within their party to making it work. The center and the regions were already having issues. Who becomes national chairman? Who becomes our leader? There were problems. And with that problem they continually had, who becomes the secretary of the party? The Eastern governor wanted a particular person. Then the PDP itself and the courts wanted another person. There were discords. And now, in politics, there must be reference. Just as my brother said, Obaraye, we must always go back to history. We have had times where candidates have seeded for election. Candidates have gone for election. In some cases, they have even won. And at the end of the day, the court says the person that submitted your name to INEC was not duly or supposed or certified. So, and now, those ones who didn't want the national secretary, Ayahu, to become the secretary, also fears the father. If Ayahu being the secretary and our name is asked to be sent to INEC, this guy can certainly change the name and put another name. And who knows how the primary will go. So they are all trying to find their foot. If fortunately that the center of PDP was standing, then we would have had local standing to completely criticize most of these people who are running away from their party. And two, don't also forget that most of these governors said the reason why some of them are defecting is the fact that they have never seen a leadership like that of Bola Ahmed Asiwaju, who did not say you were from PDP to access ecological fund, who did not say you were in PDP to access or for your people to access net fund, or who did not say you are APGA for you to get your allocation as it's supposed to be. Unlike we have seen over the time, where the man at the center sometimes try to weigh the big stones. But however, we are evolving, we are growing. in all of this, we need a stronger legislature. In a legislature of defection that we have today, say that when the center is faulty, you have what it takes to defect. So if anybody want to defect probably, they can destroy the center and have it as a local standing to defect. But however, it's not about defection. There are some few persons who did not defect. It is on their own evolution not to defect. You did not defect physically. Spiritually,
All right. We'll definitely come back to you, Collins, if you're able to get your own network right. Now, let's move on to Usman. Usman, thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear me, Usman?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us from Port Harcourt. Usman is a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Now, what do you feel about this defection of Enugu State Governor to the APC and, of course, the political impact on Southeast politics? Over now to you, Usman.
Good morning. The Enugu State Governor moving from PDP to APC, I don't really have much to say about it because if you look at my party as a card carrier member of PDP, the party has failed woefully in the sense to resolve the crisis that we have been having for years. As we speak, different court judgments here and there, and there is no insight that the crisis is going to come to an end anytime soon. What are these crises? Don't do this, don't do that. Some people who claim to be leaders of the party decided to hijack the party. And we told them, this is how it should be, and this is how it should be. Recognize the conversion of the South-South that they did in Enugu State, but they refuse. As we speak, we have a matter in court about this convention, if it will hold or not. Unfortunately, the court is going to rule on that by this week. So if you look at the old scenario going on in PDP, the house is not organized. So for the governor of Enugu State to leave the PDP, decision is yours, it's his choice. Because if I was to be in his shoe, where I know I can find peace, that is where I would definitely go. So PDP as a party need to put themselves in order so that the party can bounce back. That's all I just have to say about the defection of governors leading PDP to APC.
All right, I'll definitely come back to you. I'll definitely come back to you. Well, I want to take a break. When we return, we'll continue with this discussion because we're like asking this question. Is it about survival? After all, the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as rightly pointed out by Okoro Samobaraye, was a lone wolf. It wasn't is it AC or ADC then? AD, thank you. He stood alone against all odds. He didn't the camp and he ruled Lagos for good 8 years, turning that state around. Why can't other governors do it? They have skeletons in their cupboards. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI reaching you live from Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. It's all about the defection, zooming in on the southeastern politics in Nigeria. We've heard about, you know, what PDP, some PDP members are like having this kind of inclination of what is happening. You just heard from Kadri before we went on that break. He's a card-carrying member of the PDP. He said to him his own views and opinion that his party has failed to really take care of the internal wrangling, internal issue. You heard from Collins. He said because of the prowess of the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You heard from Obaraye. He said, look, unless they have something to hide, that's the reason why they're running up and down. And of course, we heard from Honorable Napoleon Agbama. He said it's a plus to the party. Well, let me come to Honorable Napoleon. As things are like unraveling, you get to realize that there's no smoke without fire. Some are saying someone is there stoking the fire. And as it stands right now, we have 4 states in the southeast. Let's say 2 totally down to the APC. 1 80% to the APC, remaining Abia State. In the East, we have a Governor Oti of the Labour Party. Now, you think that this Tinubunomics, what they call it right now, Tinubu tsunami, is going to hit Abia State also?
Thank you very much, Wisi. I think not only Abia, it's almost the whole country. The problem was caused by the leadership of PDP long ago. Like that, our colleague just said.
Usman.
There was a time before the last presidential election, whether they were calling themselves APC governors, AGA governor, PDP governor, they all converge at Delta State, Asaba, to say after Buhari, it is the turn of the southern part of the country to present a presidential candidate. If you are in APC, make sure that APC candidate is from the south. If you are in PDP, make sure that PDP candidate is from the south. If you are from AGA, make sure that the candidate is from the south because it's our turn. But the Delta State governor then and some other governor went to their convention, turned it around, and gave it back to the north. That was the day PDP crumbled. And that is what gave room to emergence of the G5 governors, led by Winke. And today, since their exits in PDP, PDP have never got their footing. And that is the problem they are still wallowing in till today. And even today, they have two groups, like the boy just said. In PDP, if you are taking you from Edo State here, we have two PDP state chairman now.
But they'll say they have just one.
One is, one side said Ogiva. The other side said Azegbemi. How can such a house that is so divided go to an election? For those followers and some others, yes, it's unfortunate. They have no choice than to look elsewhere. But for those actors who were really responsible for the death of PDP, that is where, personally, myself, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed of such people who today now they are declaring. If you read from social media and papers about a few days ago, Wike said those who were mocking him that he is no longer working for PDP or is against PDP, which he didn't hide and do it openly to support Tinubu. They are now all coming to APC. That you can no longer blame him. Every other person are now coming in. Like you said, when my brother John mentioned that AD era and PDP era, Tinubu was there as a governor of Lagos State under AD. Even when he tried to create more local government, the allocation was seized by the PDP and the central government. But the man managed to still be working, and that is why today he has never moved away from what he started with. He was one of the front runners that made sure that both CPC and all others come out to form what we now call APC.
And that was the only party then in the AD.
In the AD. So for those who were PDP, who were responsible for that change, because if the PDP has had their candidate from the south in that presidential election, I think the problem they are having now would not be so. So therefore, it was those they caused their whole downfall. So they cannot blame anybody. For any of them to come out today, we want to be with the center or we want to do it. No, they are only going to save themselves. Because like Obarari said just now, you cannot, for instance, you want to probe any of them, you will not have where to probe. In order to hide, they want to be with the center. That is what they were just there. Because if you see most of the governors that have even come into the APC now, in their various states, the way they are even acting, they are not even, that they were having before coming into APC is not there. Because that is just to show to you that it's just to cover up and just let me belong. Because they now know that this is a fight they cannot fight. Because to me, I don't think the presidential election coming PDP will even have a presidential candidate because they are not one.
Quite interesting and very, very strong. Does that mean that these governors, they are underperforming and are using the top to cover their lapses, Obaraye?
That's a very good question, and you answered immediately. Your sentence is, but the only difference was that there was no comma. You just started it and you ended it.
But it was a question mark.
Yeah, so it was a good answer. You cannot expect a man who is performing to act or dance this shameless dance they are out dancing there. The most painful act is that I don't know if they sit there in their closet to think about what generation set or born would say about them. If today we are proud to say there was a man who stood against all odds, who stood against when EFCC was EFCC with Ibadu and Co., who stood against when a president declared everything down in Udi. I don't want to see any soul there. That's when we had the president who had the heart that if there's a statement not going back, someone stood to say, I want this one must stand. And he won his state. He continued and he installed a successor. Till date, he laid the foundation where nothing changes in Lagos. If you are not within their political hemisphere, you cannot succeed in Lagos. To date. So no matter he has handled it, it goes to show that if he can handle it, you also can do. So I don't see why somebody don't want to also lay that foundation. Nobody is disputing the fact that PDP is dead. You can't hide that.
No, they say that it's not dead.
I'm coming.
Yes.
So nobody, but can't it also be repaired? There was a time where APC too and everything was in disarray, where governors moved. Are you getting it now?
Yeah.
But people stayed to repair it. People stayed to sanitize the system back. If who owns a party? Is it not the governors? Governors run the party. So the governors can come back to say, okay, this is what we want in the party. If you want us to still fund this party, these are our conditions. Put you, Aya will withdraw your case, this withdraw your case, you step down, this is how we want it back. We want to now repair it. If not for any other thing, for the betterment of Nigerians, so that we have a better opposition. Since we no longer believe in the legislators, we don't believe anywhere, let's still have people that will shout to say, hey, even though it will happen, but let's still have people that will bring it to the notice of Nigeria that this is going to happen. HASU is on strike as we speak. We are here on Monday. There's no other, nobody is speaking. NSC is silence. Opposition is silent in a democratic state. The people we are supposed to now also expect that our taxpayers' money is being used for are now only to the people pursuing us. So it's a painful act. It's so painful that I'm ashamed even speaking about this type of people. That's why I don't want to mention names. Because why will I use my strength to mention your name when you don't want to build your name? There's no governor in Nigeria that is not a multi-billionaire.
No governor.
Not as a state, as an individual. So if God has blessed you to that state, why not try to put down a name? Today, if you hear of Awolowo, which you did not see, you did not see him physically, the name is there. Today, somebody tell you about Ambuzali, you will know that that name rings a bell. That if Wilson or Marshall, you are in charge of a place where job employment is going to take place, and you hear somebody say, I am Segun Awolowo, you first of all, you will ask which Awolowo. If you also hear somebody say, my name is Ephraim Ambrose Folonsho Ali, in that full name, you will ask, are you the son of a? You will ask. Nobody that will not ask. Then if you not nod to the affirmation to say yes, you will shake that person, say sit down. If you are to prone others, you won't prone that person, because the father laid the foundation that the name now opened the door. Wilson, if you are now also doing the same thing and somebody comes and tell you my name is Imatiti Kwanini, you will tell the security, lock that door and ask this man which Anini. not the child that caused that, but you want to make sure hope not the one that ruled this state, then Bender state, in a commando style. And when he tells you, yes, it's my uncle, you will say, please shift and sit down. Please, anything there, please let him only sit down, so I will not steal phone. Even when you know he's wearing a jalabia to say, I'm a clean person. Because of the father's foundation, you will want to excuse. So can these people also build those type of name? It took a man, Peter Obi, to take a man who was not prepared for election in Edo South to become a senator. It took a man, Peter Obi, to make a bike man, a keke napep rider, to go to House of Rep. Was he a president of this country? A state governor. Name, he built it and other people got it. Even though 80% of those people who got it now have also failed woefully, running back when nobody is pursuing them. All now failing, but that man laid his back and people relied on it. So you can't also build a name to say tomorrow if somebody say I am Ufoma Wilson or Marshall, you say my daughter come this way, serve her a cup of tea. It's Wilson or Marshall on Fight TV, say yes, your father is a good man. So you can't also sit down to say, okay, who are we? If you call about Ojukwu today, no matter how you want to look at that name, there's still some respect that goes to that place to say this was a man who several odd fought against a system to say we want to correct it. So I don't know why these people will also sit down now to say no, I want to align, I want to do this. Why are you aligning with? Can't you do it for people to align
with you?
With you.
I'll come back to you, Barry. Now, that is the next question. Let's see if Collins is around. Aligning, realignment, or all alignment. What are the alignments you really want to talk about? Is it all about a second term for this governor? Why not laying a legacy, as a question is being thrown right now to you, Collins?
Thank you very much. I heard my brother spoke eloquently well. But I disagree with some because one, when he talked about align, someone laying his back for people to lie on, it was in that way. For example, in Labour Party, we have people who brought Labour Party from Skeme and gave it a name, like the Mimico of yesterday, who became a governor in Ondo, in his state, when nobody heard about Labour. Labour has an institution already running, so which Obi was favored. Obi, as usual, when he gets somewhere, he spoils it and leaves. He came to Labour, he spoiled Labour for them. And also forget that civil servants originally have been member of Labour Party. So Labour Party in the 36 state and the Federal Capital Territory already have a structure. So he would have done it in other parties. Even we are expecting to go to a newer party. So those Kekana pair or some persons we agreed in had a name, they also had their own little name. But they build on a collective effort in their various constituencies to have also got what they want. Obi, it's not everybody that watches television. Some of those candidates who were moving from street to street, mobilizing their people from their house to come and vote. But however, that is in the past. I also agree with him that sometimes people can build a name that can be sustaining. People can work so hard. It's not about defecting. But two, this is also politics. I made a reference just now that you cannot be in a house where the landlord deliberately take up the roof for water to rain on you, and at the end of the day you want to remain there. You have to alternatively or quickly look for a better place where you can find shelter when deliberately someone is not removing the roof. If the house becomes faulty itself, you can put all effort and you can be sure that you can fix it. But in a situation where the landlord by itself is taking off the roof, what can you do? You can't even go and start amending because the law does not empower you to do so. These governors are governed by fiat. They have become leaders of party, not genuinely because they are leaders of party. Obasanjo brought this in each statement into politics that when you become a governor, you become the leader of the party. When you become council chairman, you become the leader in your local government. No, it's never like that. Party is party. It's only when you go to court and test the law, then you will know that a governor of a party is just like every other leader in the party that do not have what it takes to execute or create an action or implement an action for a party system to run. But however, I am not 100% clapping for those to say, oh, they are all the camping, but it's also democracy. You can see that the opposition actually started testing the microphone with a mathematician like Asiwaju politically of Tinubu today. You can't start that early. You must. I read politics. I did politics in my master's program, and I took my time as well as administration. So there are people you want to fight politically. You must be off. You must have to be off balance before they know what's happening. You have well treated. So they cannot win very early enough. So a man you know is a strategist. Then the man started to by performing, showing them love and solidarity. They didn't have a choice because it's democracy. He wants to win overwhelmingly because he has ambition to be contest. Tomorrow, if he doesn't win or he doesn't have enough cloud to make him win, people will also say he's owing to abysmal performance. Even when he performs, you saw what happened to Jonathan. So now some people from the north actually started creating tension where there was none in the name of being an opposition, trying to gang up and said there was going to be an anti-party. Even people will remain inside APC, they will work against Asiwaju. Then the man have to think above the boss and work harder and make people love him more. That is what you are saying. We full-heartedly welcome them so long they are not coming to create problem and crisis, so long they will not come and make old members become redundant just because they have come. Let them work together within the party and let everybody have a fair share. It's democracy after all. The APC slogan says if you come to lead, and those who have been there from formation, that you are all the same. You are the same, recognized in the same manner. So it's just for them to apply discretion and remember that people were also there at the time and see how they can work together. Now, I really feel for those who feel they are not decamping. Now, there is no PDP. Those who were in PDP majority moved to ADC. They got to ADC, nobody was willing to bring money out to pay the ADC house rentages. And then there were deficits. Everybody was running. Now, that is why ADC today is on its floor. ADC today has no roots because they are jumping from party to party. Now you want to make a better opposition. Do you now have to really go and start saying you are creating a coalition in the manner you were creating? We saw Asiwaju arithmetic when he needed to create a coalition. It was a well thought out coalition. And the coalition took the ruling party, who said they were going to rule for 60 years, off balance only in 2 months. Only in 2 months. This one, just 1 year into a fresh term, they started fighting. And you can see what their fight had cost them. So nobody to blame for it. Our prayer now is, God, the economic reform that this president has in his plan, the revision in the political setting, through which we will have a refined electoral law, it should be well looked into. The legislators should wake up better than they are now and give us a more legislative document that will help to build Nigeria in a better format. Now, for example, if in Edo now everybody says they are decamping to APC, will I blame them? I will not, because the governor is doing a job that will make the opposition not even win 1 in the next election. Infrastructurally, he is already fit for it and is doing it. And that is the basic thing people want. When it comes to humility, he is showing humility even with authority.
All
Is that
right.
not what the people want? And if he
All right,
can do this,
Collins.
what do you expect? Tomorrow when they all now move, I
I'll
can't tell
come
them
back
not to
to
come.
you. I'll come back to you, Collins. I'll
Thank you.
definitely come back to you.
Thank
Now
you.
let's get to hear Usman. I don't know if he's still there with us. Now, Usman, you talked about your party having issues. Is there an end in sight to the feud in the PDP? Because they are saying, well, since PDP made that miscalculation in the last election, according to Honorable Napoleon, that was how the cookie crumbled for the PDP. I mean, litigation here and there. Is there hope? Are you there, Usman?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. For now, I'm not seeing any insight of ending this dispute we have in our party. For now, as we speak, just like what the honorable said, the PDP got it wrong in the last general election. After the convention, there were still chances to get things right. But Atiku for his own selfish reason, in one
People
way
may
or the
have
other,
different opinion
decided,
about him being selfish. After all, it's politics. He can choose to vie for any
yes, it's
position.
politics, it's politics. I understand it's politics. But the reason why I use the word for his own selfish interest, whether we like it or not, quote me anywhere today, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he might be regretting why he did not fly Atiku and Wike tickets. If that ticket, hello,
I
can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Of course, I can hear you. Continue what you are saying, Usman.
If we were to be having an Atiku and Yeso Wike ticket in the last general election, I bet you PDP would have come to power. But unfortunately, they ignore the big wish of the party, the people who has labored for the party, who fought for the party, who were trying to build the party from the scratch. Even when Jonathan was defeated, those were the people who stood for that party and built it to where it is today. After the general election, they said, okay, do this, do that. They refused. So they formed a G5, which they came out openly and said, we are not going to support a northern candidate. They say it openly that they are going to support the southern candidate. And they went for the general election, and so be it. Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out successful. After then, Yeso Wike said, look, there are still chances to build this party back. That is if they are ready to build it. But they refused. So the copy here and there from the governors and senators, to me, is a very good thing, like I said, because I don't see anybody, any opposition challenging Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the next general election. There is no opposition. They don't have what it takes to fight the present APC government, whether we like it or not. Nobody in PDP today, as we speak, has what it takes to challenge the APC government. As we speak, more governors, before 1920, more governors, like 3, they are likely to leave PDP to APC again, as we speak. So, like I said, PDP need to.
All right, go ahead. We're listening to you. It's like we're having some.
For them to bounce back to the PDP that we usually know in those days. That's just all I have to say.
Thank you. Well, he is a PDP member. Maybe he's aggrieved with the status quo of the party, saying that for what he feels or what he thinks, nobody can stand against Mr. President. But if you are a member of the PDP in the opposite direction, you can come counter his opinion. After all, you have the right of reply. If you don't agree with what Usman said about heaping the blame on Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, you have something contrary, you can come to us. You have the right to reply. Okay, we want to take that break. When we return, we'll come and conclude this particular discussion. Then we come back home to talk about what is happening in Edo State. Do stay. We will be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're now at the end of this discussion, talking about the defection, of course, the impact on the Eastern Bloc, yes, in Nigeria. Well, to call it to a wrap on this particular discussion segment, what do you feel will be the fate of the Southeast when you talk about politics? Do you feel that all of them will fall into the hands of the APC, or they will just swear allegiance just like what Soludo did?
Thank you very much. All apart from Soludo, even the Abiyama,
OT. All
inclusive, they will all support Tinubu because they have seen that whatever party they belong to cannot make it. Like I told you in last discussion just now, that PDP may likely not have a presidential candidate. And as it is now, whether PDP or AGA or whatever, all of that party put together to fight Tinubu with just one candidate, we fail because the leadership are no longer there in those various political parties. In your analysis, you talk about how it be about labor or whatever. Yes, it wasn't Obi per se. It was
Not now. Well, Obara, your last line of the discussion.
Thank you so much, my brother. I think the people should sit down and have a think. I'm in full support of Tinubu for second term. I'm not against that, but we must still have sanity in the system. I think some of us can proudly boast to say we are not used to defection. And if my children will play politics, they will also learn from that. That when you are somewhere, it is rosy, go. When you are somewhere and it's not rosy, try to get it better. The governors have not been able to do it well, though we already now know. But it goes to show when you have failure of leadership amongst these people, you are going to the top, and in your own state, in your own house, it is also not scattered. You are not able to repair your house. And I want to also let them know that you can see that 80% of our Nigerian politicians does not have character. They don't have political character, because you can't have political character and now see that a man who built his own empire from nothing since 1999, building it with no foundation, got a land, got the foundation, started the building, he has roofed it, he's now the head. You cannot also say, okay, if this man can do, why can't we do it? He does not have two heads. We can. Are you getting it now? So if you cannot also do it, then truly, just as my father has said, the probability of PDP having a governor in the next election is zero. Presidential election is zero. The reason, the truth must be said, running for presidential election without governors in Nigeria type of politics is very hard. Politics is money. There will be no presidential candidate now that will want to gamble with over 100 billion, gamble with it for somebody like Tinubu, who we all know that is a game changer. It's a political risk. If you take it and you don't survive it, you might not survive it never again in your life. It might lead to your old age, your political retirement. But where I was supposed, that I keep telling them, is that why not start the realigning and aligning now? Forget about 2027, forget about it. Let's see the momentum. Let's look for councillors, look for local government chairmen, look for House of Assembly members, let's look for House of Reps, senators for that election. Let's forget about presidency. So that by 2031, when Tinubu is leaving, they would have built a structure that can see the future. Right. Because if also you fight again in 2027 and you don't get it, it's scattered again. It's like going back to square one. You can see the deflation that happened in Labour. Labour was not prepared for election. They got in full numbers of senators, House of Rep, House of Assembly members, and today it went down the drain because they were not prepared for it. But if they start the preparation now, and they get it without some continue, by then, if they have 50 now, they'll be prepared for at least 70 or 100.
All right.
I get it now. So if Labour was prepared before, think of it now that Labour was not prepared 8 years' time, it would have been momentum.
Thank you.
For now, I don't see anybody getting it.
All right, Collins,
Tinubu,
let's get to hear from Collins, your last line on this particular segment. I mean, the fate of opposition. Is it healthy that in politics in Nigeria, we don't have viable opposition? No one to put the government on its toes. What do you feel about this?
Yes, you can only have opposition when a system is built on sustenance. You can't have opposition when the leader who ought to be opposition leader, like Atiku, will always come to a party when he loses an election. He's supposed to be the leader of the party, he runs away. You have an incumbent president of that party, like Jonathan was in PDP. After losing an election, he said he now had a gray hair, haven't left now, he's now getting fresher, and he really need to get fresh air. And you left the party to wallow. Automatically, in a jiffy, you want to come back again. In a house that you left that became scattered, Wike stood by and helped people to build it. At the end of the day, they were calling him names. He's too stubborn, he doesn't have man, he's this one. And he said, okay, you people should start funding the party. You people should start giving leadership. And they just failed. So it's not easy to give leadership. Obi, for example, was in PDP before, one of the former formation leaders. He scattered PDP because he didn't get what he wanted. He left to Abga. He went to Abga, he took a vow that if he leave Abga, let him die, let his children die. And he ran away from Abga. Then he ran to another one, Labour. He got to Labour. The money young people donated, the Abure accused him of stealing their money. He accused Abure. They went to court. After fighting up and down, they were fashion. Then he ran and left them. He ran to coalition. They told him in coalition, you must bring good money so that you'll be one of the more that can be considered. They will ask for 100 million. You are giving them 1.5 million naira. They told you you don't have the way yet. He also ran away to a new one. How will you go? So what kind of leadership is that? Leadership of self-centeredness. You went back to some people in the north, creating a new alignment. You just want to come, even if it's for 2 years, you don't mind. It means it's just desperation. You just want to be called a president. And in such doing, citizens cannot get what they want, what they are yearning for. And now God gave us a man who said, I have come. I have not come to paint. I have come to build a lasting infrastructure. Like you see the roads going on in the federal attention roads. There are roads that they are guaranteeing you 30, 40 years, which you have never had before. You are seeing roads being built with concrete. You are seeing irons, rods inside a road. It's unusual. And it's just the beginning. They have not said it's completely Eldorado. No. But there is a step to be taken. And that step is building. He came, we're crying about how the economy works. He said, yes, the economy will fail completely because we are starting all over. Within a jiffy, we will get somewhere. And today, you are seeing the ratio and the percentage to which our economy is growing. 2020, 2026, even the World Bank have foreseen Nigeria to be the second largest economy to grow all over the world.
Thank
After
you.
China, even to pass America. Now, what I'm trying to say in all share as a way of summary is that let's keep hope alive. Opposition is very wonderful in democratic system in order to help government to be on its toes and to remind them of what is important.
Thank
But
you.
you can't build opposition with this set of leaders that we have today. David Mark and their life. Aregbe Shola, if you are not a minister today, you become an enemy.
Thank
No, no,
you.
no. That's we
Thank
too are
you.
grown enough to be candidates.
Thank you so much, Collins. But if you have an alternative view to what Collins just said, you have the right to reply. You have the right to come to ITV and, of course, to reply. Well, let's get to hear from Usman. How do you think we can build an effective opposition, let's call it a wrap in this particular discussion to get set for the next discussion segment? Effective opposition.
Come again, please.
How do you think we can build an effective opposition? Because what is happening right now, Nigeria is tending towards a one-party state.
To me, people keep saying Nigeria is driving to a one-party state, one-party system. It's wrong. For example, like I said, my party was a very strong opposition in those days. But because of the crisis we are having, that is why so many people are leaving the party. I think the only party that would have been able to stand as a very strong opposition is PDP. The so-called ADC, Labour Party, they are nothing to write home about. So in conclusion, what I would say is that the opposition that we know before should go back to their drawing board and settle all the internal issues. After that, I believe there will be a voice of opposition in this country again. But for now, there is no opposition. And I can tell you this for free. Nobody, I repeat, there is no political party that can withstand Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. There is nobody. Even all those running up or down, they all know that what the man is doing the right thing. So they should not just waste their time. The so-called ADC and Labour Party, they should not just waste their time. Like our brother here said, I don't think PDP, we are likely not to have a presidential candidate. Nobody is ready to risk his money to withstand Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nobody. They all know the kind of human being he is. He is a political juggernaut, and he knows he's a master of politics, to the best of my knowledge. So everyone should just go back to his drawing board and try again. But for now, there is no opposition. And nobody can withstand Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the next general election. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have anything to say about this? You have the right to reply. Just come to ITV. I keep saying it because their opinion is theirs, but they keep on saying that they don't see for now. Maybe a miracle happens before 2027, but for now, from their own opinion, I don't think there'll be any form of opposition. Well, the question now is, will the South-East bloc fall totally to the APC? We have one man standing and is doing well. Talk about the governor of Abia State. Yes, OT of the Labour Party. Is he going to get infected with the APC continuable virus? We are watching the stands right now. Anambra State has gotten immunity because it said it's going to work with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whether it's in Abga, but you know, APC. Enugu State totally said no, it's going straight to the APC. No two ways about it. You know, the Imo State governor, yes, already in APC. Now, see if Abia, Charles Oti, would do likewise, because as it stands right now, the Labour Party have their own issues. Do you feel that will push him to the APC? Take a look at the map of Nigeria. South-South, South-East is like all of them are screaming APC. The Southwest also, they're all screaming APC. The Middle Belt's APC, the remaining the northern part of it. We have some APC, and of course, one political party. Do you think they all will be infected by this Tinubu or APC virus to make them more mutate into APC? Only time will tell. If that should happen, what is the fate of effective opposition? Who will not become the watchdog of government? Who will not say this XYZ is wrong if they are doing the wrong thing, if we don't have effective opposition? I want to leave with this question. Which way? Nigeria. Anyway, we will take a break. When we return, it's